So the 9.2 PTB has a lot going on. There's a new killer, new survivor, new perks. There's also the tunneling and slugging changes, and they also reworked some other perks as well. If that all wasn't enough, they also managed to include a pallet density quality of life update. And when I saw this in the patch notes, I got really nervous because whenever they tend to make any changes to maps, things get broken in some way, or they become lopsided to one side's favor or the other's. Essentially what they're trying to go for with this update is to reduce the presence of dead zones, and the affected realms were Macmillan, Autohaven, Coldwind, Asylum, Haddonfield, Swamp, Red Forest, Yamoka, Ormond, and Borgo. On paper, I definitely believe and agree that some of these realms needed a dead zone update. Maps like Coldwind, Borgo, even Swamp to a degree, they've had issues where sometimes nothing spawns and survivors just have nothing to work with. Then there's other realms which I don't really understand what they're trying to go for. Macmillan, Asylum, Red Forest, sometimes I just don't understand what they mean that there's dead zones on those maps. I feel like every once in a blue moon something doesn't spawn, but I've never really noticed it to be that big of a deal. And from what I've witnessed thus far, it seems like the dead zone issue that they're referencing is mostly in regards to tiles they've swapped out and also just some 2v8 tiles that have been added as well. So here's a quick overview of what I observed and witnessed thus far. Oh. Coldwind has a 4-lane now. What the actual fuck? Oh my god. I never thought I'd see the day. Whoa, yeah, this is, oh, what the hell? Oh my god, they did it here too. They really went through and said, all these new tiles are something that we want to put on every map. Wait, what is this? So these are just a few of the changes that have been made. I think the most notable ones are the random 2v8 tiles that were added to Macmillan. Also Macmillan and even Swamp got these Ormond tiles added. And then the most notable change for me was that Coldwind now has a 4-lane. And that was very shocking to see because in the 9 years of this game existing, Coldwind has been around for all 9 years and has never had a 4-lane, so it will now join the other legacy maps in having a 4-lane, so that'll be interesting to get used to. Overall, my thoughts on these map changes are a bit mixed because I don't really quite understand why these changes were added to this patch specifically. There's already a lot going on, there's already a lot of changes happening, and I don't think these map changes were necessarily needed at this time. I think they could have waited till the next mid-chapter patch. The other issue I have is that these tile changes are a bit on the lazy side. Basically, the changes boil down to copy and pasting newer tiles from newer realms onto these older realms. And honestly, who was even asking for these newer tiles to be added to these other realms? Because I've personally never seen any sentiment saying that these newer tiles are preferred over the older style tiles. I personally find the newer tiles to not flow as well. I think the jungle gyms and LT walls flow much better. And to be clear, it's not a bad thing if a map has an update to the layout or the tiles that can spawn. It's just that if something ain't broke, don't fix it. So why are the newer tiles from the newer realms just being copy and pasted everywhere? If I had to guess, it was probably the quicker solution than individually going through each map and adjusting everything piece by piece, tile by tile. And I am just a little bit disappointed on that front, but I'm not that surprised. I just hope for the future that maps are approached on a more individual basis when it comes to balancing. And if these maps were assessed on an individual basis and this was the decision for balancing, I guess I'm a bit confused on the logic there, but I don't know. Maybe there's something I'm missing. But that's all I have for now, so thanks for watching.